All right, folks, we're back in the kitchen with another nutrition video. This one is about veganism. That's my diet. It's called vegan. That's not misspelling vegan. That is vague for there are no rules. That's rule number one. We're going to give you 9 principles for my diet and nutrition thoughts today. Number one is I don't do rules. I don't believe in rules. I don't like any of the isms. Sure, there's good things in all of them, but the rules and the restrictions, they're not for me. And I'm still here, and I think I'm pretty healthy. That number 2, I am trying. So the number 2 is always try to improve, always try to evolve, and have the best diet, have the best health. Try to just constantly focus and work on it and peck away at it. And part of that is when it comes to the environment. Part of that is trying to be one with the planet. I am pro-Earth. That might be a controversial opinion, but the reality is, if there are 10 billion people in the world, we can't eat as much meat as we have been, and we need to look at all the different ways to be sustainable in our diet and our lives in general. So that the veganism also goes into like not wasting plastic and recycling, that kind of thing. Everything. It's not just a diet. It's veganism. It's lifestyle. So one thing that I've done is I've read about all the other diets, and I've tried certain elements of many of them, and what I've kind of done is, for me, and this is, you do the same, is look at other different diets, look at what people swear by. There are people who swear by this and that. Take what works for you. Take from each of those what makes sense, and apply it to yours in kind of a healthy, intelligent, thoughtful way. That's real simple. So it's kind of like, vegan is like the MMA of diets, where you're taking the best elements of each one and combining it into one super diet that's different for everybody and not really a diet. So there's a thing that I see, like these diet tribalists that come out now, and they're like, yeah, look how great this worked for me. Look how ripped I am. If you just do what I do, you'll be the same. And the reality is, like, you could probably eat anything and still be ripped, and I could probably eat exactly. I could have this perfect diet, and there's no way I get past a 4.5 pack. That's just how I'm built. And I think part of diet also is just accepting what you're supposed to look like and what you're supposed to feel like, and understanding that, like, it's going to be different for you and everyone else. And it's about finding that balance for yourself personally. Number 4 is we can, in the reducing meat, we can also be smart about it. So eat small, so kind of lower on the food chain. The smaller fish make more sense. The eggs are, nothing's actually being killed for the eggs. The chickens aren't treated great. That's why the vegans aren't into eggs, but eggs are a very good source of protein. And also, eggs are not limited to breakfast. I don't know what bad publicist decided that eggs were like a before 10 a.m. food. They're not. I like to have breakfast. Well, I've found that for working out, for a good bike ride, I don't need meat before to have a great ride. I don't need meat to have, and I can measure that. I can have, just some oatmeal and really focus on carbs before the ride. I have found that I perform better if I have some meat after. I recover better. If I completely cut meat for a few days, I'm okay. And then at some point, it's just I kind of want some eggs, and then at some point I kind of want a steak, and that might just be like a once a week thing, but it's in there. So you can reduce it. I've found that I've reduced my meat probably 50% since I stopped racing bikes professionally, and was able to sort of experiment more and try things out. I think a lot of people, this is back to the isms, a lot of people will say, this is my diet, you can never have cheese again. And most folks are going to be like, okay, bye, I like cheese. But I'm telling you, you can have your cheese sometimes, but just cut it down. Just think about every bit of cheese that you have, and every meat that you have at every meal, and think like, okay, what could I do instead that might sustain? And if you really crave it, then deal with it. But if you a lot of times, like if you make a big thing of black beans once a week, or a big thing of lentils that you spice it, you leave it in the fridge, and then you just throw it on your salads instead of that chicken breast, instead of that salmon, that kind of checks the box, and you didn't really need it after all. So think about the ways to substitute it. If you do eat meat, when the time comes that, okay, just man, today I need a steak, like my body's craving it. If I crave it, I do eat it. When you get there, respect it. Like if you have that meat at Thanksgiving, don't cook more than you need. Don't waste what you do cook. Don't throw it out. Don't leave it on your plate. When you have the meat, respect it and understand that like something died for this to happen. And not to mention someone grew this animal and someone fed this animal, and let's at least make sure that it goes all the way into your system and doesn't that all of that food chain didn't take place to end up in the garbage, because that's kind of sad if you think about it. In the diet thing, remember, this is back to diet tribalist folks. We're on number 6 now. If whatever works for you isn't for everyone, and you don't shame. It's not going to help. No one needs to be like made fun of for eating whatever they want. I've found like the vegan cyclist is a great example for cycling on YouTube. Rich Roll is sort of he's a big deal in the vegan community. They never make fun of people or push back on, hey, you don't have. They just lead by example. It's here's how great my life is. Here's what I eat, and I think a lot of people see that and think, yeah, okay, I'm going to give that a shot, but I'm not going to sit there like I'm a big fan of cookies. If I see someone eating a cupcake, I'm not going to be like, hey man, you shouldn't be doing that. Let it go and respect everyone's own process in this. The number 7 main thing with veganism: eat a lot and eat clean. So start with the vegetables first, every meal. Whatever, if you have eggs for breakfast, put some spinach in there, thicken it out. It's all good vitamins. Vegetables are that's the go-to every time. Eat a lot and eat clean. It's really like that's kind of the most simple part of the philosophy. Variety, number 8. A lot of people, at some point I could do a what I eat in a day video. But the thing is, that's different every day, and it should be. You need to mix up your diet. It's very tempting to have like here's what I eat at this time, and it's just sort of bulleted through. That's appealing. It's also it's too easy. That's not how diet's supposed to work. Your diet should vary based on what's seasonal. What's kind of available. If you can eat local. All that kind of stuff. So think about the mixing it up, put something different in every day. And it could be, you could go a week with, this is what I bought this box of cereal, so that's my carb this week, and then you mix it up the week after. Number 9, when I eat junk food, I do it around a bike. This is, if you're gonna eat something that's kind of garbagey, that can happen. If you at your coffee stop mid-workout, or right before, if you want to have that piece of cake, just do it in a place where you're going to burn it off. You don't have to do it before bed, and then your body just digests it and it deals with it. Kind of do it during the window where your body is going to absorb it and burn it and think about it that way. It's not like a guilt thing. It's just like, now's the time that I can really enjoy this. I'm going to put that piece of cake to work up this next mountain. In that same vein, the cheat meal. So that's if you crave junk, and if there's something that like this is your weakness, don't. It's easier to limit yourself if you say, okay, once a week I can have this. So like on Sundays, that's my pizza day. So it's a lot easier to say no to pizza if you know it's coming. If you could say you never have pizza again, everyone's lost. But if you say, here's that, it's going to happen on Sunday. I'm gonna look forward to it. I'm gonna make it special. That's a great way to handle it. And also having that cheat meal when you do sort of spike your load, you're generally, if you're reducing, if you're counting calories, if you're trying to stay lean, your body will slow your metabolism a little bit as you're sort of limiting it. Your body will prepare to slow down based on how much you give it. And if you spike it with that cheat meal, your metabolism will go back up. So it'll sort of burn everything else a little bit faster. So in a way, the cheat meal is good for you, and that can help you rationalize the snacks that you want and don't get to have all the time. So those are my 9. That's how I get to look like this. So I hope that helps. More nutrition videos to come. See ya.